Welcome everyone to our Friday live stream. We're doing a bit late in the day today, but we figured there would be still some people, at least in Eastern Canada, that or Eastern United States, that would still be hammering at it and trying to finish stuff off at the end of the day. And so we thought we'd give you a little bit of a break. You could watch this and enjoy your time. Uh, we've got There he is. There's Jared. Jared's my co-pilot again, as usual. We're
Yep.
going to we're gonna go through today. We talked about last week. We talked about the Act Advantage and we talked about the mobile app. And what we're going to do today is we're going to show the online calendar in here as well. And we're going to explain again a little bit about what the Act Advantage is, because some people are a little confused with what it actually is. Because I talked about this hybrid, and so I'm going to try to explain this. I'm not going to go into great detail. Again, if you want to go into more granular about how it works specifically for you, you can just reach out to me and we can kind of go through it, and because every specific business could have a different use case on how they deploy the Act software, and so we can help you with that. All right, Jared, any comments before we get rocking and rolling here?
Nope. It's
No.
exciting stuff. A lot of cool features. So it's exciting to share with people. This a lot of these stuff is going to be standard now with Active Advantage, which is cool.
Well, and that's the thing, right? A lot of people are going to have this Act Advantage available to them, whether they use it or not. They can stay. You can stay right where you're at with your desktop, the way it's all configured, everything the way it is. Leave it the way it is if you want, or you could have advantage of the Act Advantage and
There you go.
incorporate it. A little play on words there,
Slogan.
and put that into your ecosystem and get it to work for you. So. One of the things we're going to do here is I want to kind of explain this first. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to move to the next screen and kind of explain it. So this is just a little bit of a graphic here, just to kind of explain it. Now, most of you out there are either, if you're a solopreneur, you're working like this. You've got your desktop, your Act is on your desktop, and then you got a mobile device, and you're working the way you normally would. Um, for those who have more than one person, you'll either have a full server with the Act database on there, and then you're just linking to that database, or someone in the office is hosting the database on their computer. If you've got a small group, you can get away with it. If you get too many people, then all that workload goes on that one person's computer. So then what you do is you move over and get yourself either a pseudo server, which we just to have a PC in the corner, or you'd end up having an actual server. Now, the only difference is you're going to have part of your package during the course of this year. Some people will have it now, some people will get it. Um, what will happen is you'll have access to the Act Premium, or actually they call it Act Advantage, and it's the cloud server. Now, doesn't mean you have to change anything on what you've got right now. Hang on here. Windows trying to do an update. Can you believe it? I just got this.
Bad
Do you want to
timing, I
do
guess.
you want to do it now? I'm going, no.
Technology is against
Anyways,
us.
yeah,
I knew it.
exactly. So here we go. We got you've got your server stuff, so you can leave that just the way it is. The only thing we're recommending after you've seen what Act Advantage is, and by the way, I think it's up here at the end of this, you'll see our first video we did for Act Advantage, which talks about, and this will be at the end of this live stream. It will talk about a little bit of infrastructure, but it'll also talk about the Act Mobile, which is something new. Some of you may have used the Act Companion. This is the next evolution of that, and it's way more powerful. So, anyways, basically, if you want to stay where you're at right now with hosting your database on someone's computer or on a server, and you're accessing it this way and you're synchronizing back, and you may even have stuff hosted with us because we have a sync hosting option for people, and if you're using that, you can stay with that as well if you'd like, or you can put your database up on the cloud. So basically, what we're doing is you can run as normal. You just take your master database that's, say, here, put it up in the Act Cloud, take a remote copy, put that on your server or put that on your desktop, and then it will synchronize back and forth. But what this allows you to do when it's sitting up here is you have a few advantages. One is you have the mobile, and I'll show you some of the other features that you get with it. But you also have an enhanced, your marketing automation now is in a really stable environment. I mean, you may already have it in a stable environment where you've got your own API endpoint, but if you don't, you can have it there and work off of that as well. So that's kind of the Reader's Digest version of how this is kind of structured. And again, keep working the way you're working. Don't change it. If it's working for you, keep trucking on. But if you want to enhance this, and we've done this, we did this when it first came out. We moved our main database up here, and we've got it sitting on the Act server. And then we have what they call a VDI, or a virtual desktop server. So it's a cloud server, so we can remote in and do remote desktop. We have that sitting on that server, and I also have it as a remote on my local machine. So we've got it all over the place. We've done this whole hybrid thing, tried all different scenarios out, and it works really good. We're really quite happy with it. So this is kind of how it works. And again, if you want to go more granular, just reach out to me and we'll go through it. So let's go through online calendaring, because that's what we're going to talk about today is online calendaring. Now, previously, you could get online calendaring. You can use Microsoft Bookings, you can use Calendly. There's a ton of different online bookings. And what happened is it goes um, from the Calendly or Microsoft Bookings, it goes down into Outlook, and then from Outlook it goes into Act. So there's several steps involved, and some of them have a lot of cool features in there. But if you wanted to go directly into the Act database without going through Microsoft Outlook, then you can do that using this feature, this online calendaring. It used to be called Linktivity Calendar, or Link to Calendar, and I've been using it for a few years now, and it works great. And for those of you who still want to buy the desktop version, it's $60 for individuals. If you want to get a team environment, it's $60, $120, I believe it is. But what you get if you get the Act Advantage, it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Just like the Act Mobile doesn't cost you a thing. So you can use handheld contacts for the mobile, or you can use the free one that comes with Act. Again, your choice. So let's dive into the calendaring just so you can see what it actually looks like. So first of all, we talked about running in your desktop version. So here's my desktop. I'm using the Advisor Demo Database, and I'll be using this Advisor Demo Database throughout the whole little presentation here. And by the way, if you have any questions or comments as you're going along, please go ahead and put them in the comments
We
area on the bottom of. I think we're just streaming on YouTube today, right, Jared?
Yep, we do have one question already, actually. We have somebody asking if you can use, it's called NAS, to host the database. I'm not
No,
familiar with that.
you can't use a NAS because it's
NAS.
it's not it doesn't run a proper server software like Windows 11 or Windows the latest version of Windows server software. So unfortunately, no, it's more NAS is more for your managing documents and stuff like that. But you have to have Act. You can't just put the database on a NAS server because Act needs to be installed on there, and you can't. From what I remember, you can't install that. But you can always reach back out to us or leave a message, and I'll have Matt to kind of explain that to you. He's a little more detailed in that. All right, so let's carry on. So in here, I've got my database, whether this is sitting in the cloud or on a virtual desktop environment, or whether it's on a local server or with somebody's desktop. You'll have this little sync utility, this Corelogix sync utility we have here, which automatically syncs, and you can set the timer up. I'm not going to get into it, but you can set the timer up, and it just automatically syncs and automatically does maintenance, and I believe it does backup too, and it just does all this cool stuff in behind the scenes. So you run your business just like you normally would. What this does is this links to the online calendar. or the online version of Act, and you can access it by logging in just like I am here, or you don't have to. You can just work on your desktop. You will need to log into your database that's in there just to set up the additional features. So the Act Advantage comes with the mobile, like I said. It also connects up with, hang on here. It also connects up with the Act Marketing Automation to make it more stable and works a lot better. And then you have these additional features here, which we're going to go in today. You've got online scheduling. That's what we're going to focus on today. We've got interactive quotes. We've talked about this again in this video at the end. We spent a little time on this. We've got some marketing stuff, online surveys, web lead forms, online event management, URL shortener, and then services like website chat and online customer portal. So these things are available to you, which is great. So what we're going to do is go into the scheduling, but I want to show you what the scheduling looks like. So if I look at my calendar right now, and I'm going to go to, and this could be on my desktop or my web version, and I'm going to show you how this works through the whole link and how it works together. So on here, I have nothing for Wednesday the 28th. So we're going to book something for Wednesday the 28th. So I'm going to go to my online calendar. I'm just going to paste this in. And you can see mine is at Gary Robillard. You can do a Teams one, and I can show you that. Basically, pops up and says, "Hey, you're currently in the mountain time zone," and you can change that. And so if you're booking somebody's appointment in a different place, you can do that. You can go to Eastern Canada or Baja California if you really want to, and then get it all set up. So Wednesday the 28th. So I go there, and there's some little bit of time available. So let's say 10:30. So I click on 10:30. Actually, I'm going to go back, and you can see the time zone here. You've got daily, weekly. So I can look at the weekly calendar if I want. I can look at the daily calendar. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stay with the daily calendar. I'm on the 28th. I'm going to book it at 10:30. It'll pop up and say, well, what kind of activity type it is it? And I'm going to choose a Zoom meeting subject. And I'm just going to say, this is test. And then I can put some details, test 1, 2, 3. And then I can put in my name. You can see here I used Peter Parker last time. Jared, we didn't come up with a name, so I'm just going to make one up. Oh, let's see here. Tony Lang. Just making that up.
Tony Lang. Okay.
Lang Inc. There we go. Email. I'll just use a fictitious one. CLXCRM. Use the plus sign. Tony at gmail.com. And you can see how slow a typer I am, and that's why I use dictation most of the time. But I'm not going to show that in this particular live stream. All right, so we got it all set up. I press create an appointment. Comes up with a landing page that says, "Hey, thanks for booking appointment," and then you can download this ICS file. This ICS file, if you click on that, it'll just put it right directly into your into the recipient will put they can put it in their Outlook calendar, and then if they're using Act Two, then that would go into would just synchronize into their Act calendar. But most people are, they could be using a Google Calendar. Who knows what? Depends on your particular application. So now that that's in there, let's go back to here. So I'm on this screen here. I'm going to do a refresh. Now, because Tony Stark is not, or I got Tony Stark. Did I say Tony Stark? Oh, I must have. I was messing around with Tony Stark earlier. I'll bet you that's what happened. Um, I thought I'd said Lang. I think I said Lang, but I was making a test. Let's just see if it says test 1, 2, 3. Yep, test 1, 2, 3. Somehow it took up what I was messing around with earlier. So it automatically puts that in there. And Tony wasn't in the database, so Tony is now actually in the database. If the person's in the database, it will match their email address up and automatically put them into the database. And that's why it's pulling Tony Stark up, is because his email, it matches based on email address, and I have a Tony Stark because I was messing around with this earlier, and it matches based on that. So when it goes in, if it doesn't match the email address of the individual, it will create a new contact. But if it matches the contact's email address, then it will link to it, and that's why it did Tony Stark instead of Tony Lang. So that's my bad. I use the same email address for the same two people. So that's how it works here. So now what I'll do is I'm going to go over to my desktop version and I'm going to just go sync now. And we're going to synchronize this. Now, this would automatically sync. So you don't even have to think about this. It's just going to automatically, then it'll pop up in your calendar. So this is, just think of this automatically syncing in the background. I'm just doing, like I said, a manual sync now.
We do have a question while we're just getting into sync now.
Yep.
Um, they're wondering if you can use the click to dial for the online version. Is that something that's offered with ActAdvantage where you can click and dial right from?
Yes, you can, and I can show that. That's more of a question with regards to the, like we were talking about call manager and stuff like that, but I can quickly show that to you in a
Yes,
second.
you can do that.
So so I close that off, and then I'm gonna go over to my calendar, and I've got Peter Parker here. That was from one I did a little bit earlier, so I'm just gonna do a screen refresh. And it takes a second because it's gotta enter that contact in. So right now it's just doing test. But if I when it does that sync, what it'll do is it'll actually link to that person. This one's not linking, it's actually linking to me. And that's because it takes a second for it to it's actually did a placeholder there. Let me just press that sync again because I didn't wait long enough. Usually you have to wait like a minute before this all populates properly. Let's try that again. Yeah. Yeah, it does link. Mine didn't work this time because was messing around with it earlier. Then usually it'll just pull up the individuals, let's see if it got test 1, 2, 3 in there. Yeah, it did test 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's pulling in the representative first, but yeah, see, it is linked to Tony Lang, but it's using Tony Stark's email address. So a little bit of a glitch, but that's just because of me. I use we just set this one up to show it today, but that's how it works. So it'll actually go from the desktop or in the cloud over to this one, and you're off to the races. And I just did that a little bit too fast. So one of the questions was, and I'll just go to that before I show how this all looks like in the background. Yeah, you have click to dial right here. So when you go to use the click to dial, you see there's hyperlinks in there. It will use whatever system you've got on there. So if you've got running, like in our case, we use Ring Central. If I wanted to call this number, it's going to say open Ring Central plugin, or in this case, I'm just going to cancel that because I don't want to actually dial out. But if you're on a PC, it's going to say what cancel that too. It's going to say what dialing application are you going to use, and then it will just dial out. So yes, it does have the dialer in there. It does not do inbound calls and pulling up your contacts record like the desktop version does when you're using Call Manager and you're using Ring Central, but that's for another day. All right, let me go into how this actually what it looks and feels like inside setting this up. And I'm not going to spend a whole time setting it up, but kind of give you an idea. So personal calendar, you have a group calendar which you just bring in your personal calendar into this. And so when the native default standard package of ActAdvantage, all they have is personal calendars. So you can have as many personal calendars as you have users. When you get into the next level up, which was, I think it's not standard, it's I can't remember the other one it's called. Um, it has what they call groups, and
Professional.
you can have or professional, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And then you can have teams in there, and then so you can have group calendars, so a person can go to the main group hub and then choose who they want to book an appointment with. I personally like just this individual calendars anyway. But basically, you go in here, you've got you can put in your short URL, your regular long URL, and these can be put in your subject in your signature on your email. They can be put anywhere you want. And then you put your little header that you want. You can have your logo. You can have your picture with whatever you want to have in there. I just did something up quick that I had on my other one. Introductory text, closing text, appointments, 30-minute slot. I can choose all the activity types that I want, a call or a Zoom meeting. Here's the link for the Zoom meeting that we'll send out. High priorities, how do you want to set that up? What fields are required, like name and subject? You don't need company, doesn't have to be that, or the phone number. And email is a default one as well. Um, Aligned time slots to, you can say 15 minutes. Extended meetings, you can go like 60 minutes, so you can do 2 time slots and then save that. I haven't finished configuring this. And then my availability, by default, it has it like this, but I always set it up a little bit different. Now it's kind of reset my calendar, but you can actually say Monday I'm going to do from here to here, Tuesday from here to here, Wednesday, oh Friday I'm not going to do it at all, and you can kind of change what your settings are. Earliest days, if you want them still to be able to book today, then you'd leave that at 0. Buffer time 15 minutes. Blacklist just means these are the days you're out of the office or you're not available, and so it'll just block that off. And that's a standard thing that you have with that program. Um, that's pretty much it for kind of a quick overview of it. I mean, there's definitely some videos and some documentation on how to set all of this up. But again, if you want, keep using your desktop stuff. If you want to take advantage of this, because once you have the Act Advantage, this will be free. This online appointments will be free, and so you might as well take advantage of it, as well as the mobile app, as well as the more stable Act Marketing Automation access as well. Um, Jared, any questions that we have?
No, it looks pretty good. I mean, when it comes to the online booking like that, do you recommend people put this on like a website for them to book appointments with you? Do you recommend in the email signature? Do you recommend just kind of as you go to send it to maybe somebody, say, hey, book an appointment with me this week and send them the link to your online booking? How do you recommend using this?
Yes, yes, all of
All
them.
those things? Oh,
Yeah. Now, one
very
of
good.
the one of the things it doesn't do, and let me just go back here. So in the settings feature of this, and I might as well. I think I did the wrong one. There we are. Um, in the settings feature, it has your calendar URL, and it also has a short URL. It doesn't have what they call an iframe script. So when you're going to book appointment, what I've done on our website, I'll have maybe I'm showing a particular product, and I'll say book an appointment with me, and I'll just have a little button that says book an appointment. It uses this URL. When they click on that, it takes it to the online calendaring, which is this. It'll take them directly right to here. Um, with an iframe script, you can actually do that calendar right inside of your web page. And some people, that's what they want. They don't want them to move off of their website. This doesn't have this yet. I don't know if that's in development. This is, again, all very new to Act and having all these components in here. There's a few things that we're going to be making recommendations for that we've seen, but for the most part, it does a really good job. And so all we do for the website is we just put a button, book an appointment. We just don't have the calendar embedded into there because it doesn't have that iframe script or the HTML script to be able to pop that in there as of yet. But I'm sure that's something that will happen in the near future.
Nice. And this just comes free with ActVantage, correct? Even
It
on all the
does,
tiers?
yes.
Yeah,
Once you're moved
nice.
over to ActAdvantage, now if you're usually what they're doing is they're upgrading people once they come up to their renewals.
Renewal?
So depending
Ah,
upon where your renewal is, you'll be moved into the ActAdvantage platform. Um, Now you can go get in earlier. You just need to get a hold of me directly and say, "Hey, what would it take for me to get in early?" And then I can let you know what the dealio is to get you in early if you want to take advantage of that sooner than later. Those people who are on Act Premium Cloud, which we were doing the same structure with Act Premium Cloud, and the only advantage of that for them was the Act Marketing Automation. They'll have to wait. You can't get into they're not moving people from Act Premium Cloud or the older, um, what should I call this? Well, it's Act Premium Cloud. It was an Act Premium Cloud that was added to your subscription. And I think it started for some people, it was started in December. I can't remember now that you got that in there. They won't move over to Act Advantage for probably another month, and they're just going to
mm,
automatically move people over. I tried getting somebody to move over, and they wouldn't let me. So Act said, "No,
oh,
you got to wait." So, but there's a few people that have the mobile or the cloud version available to them,
yeah.
and may not even know it just because it was part of the package that we had before.
And do you recommend, like we have another question in the chat saying, do you recommend this sort of instead of Microsoft Bookings or Calendly, just because it integrates with Act already and it's in your calendar,
Um,
or
it
what's
it
your recommend?
it depends. It
Okay.
depends. Calendly depends on how robust you use Calendly or Bookings. I've used both,
Mhm.
and there are fabulous features. Now, if yours is very simple, there's a few features that this particular Act online scheduling doesn't do. One was the iframe script or the HTML if you want to have it embedded into your website. That's one thing it doesn't have. The other thing is it doesn't do a separation. So if a person, and this is something that we're going to ask as a feature request. So if the person goes on and books an appointment,
Mm,
well, let me just show you.
okay.
Let me show you. Come on. There we go. All right. So if I go down here and I book an appointment, in here, if I say I want to have a call, right? It doesn't just say here's the number for you to call or we will call you. It doesn't separate that. It doesn't have what they call separation based on activity type. So what I mean by that is if I have a call, it doesn't have a protocol for a call. If I have a Zoom meeting, it doesn't have a protocol for the Zoom meeting. Meaning, okay, if it's a Zoom meeting, send out the Zoom link. Now, I've got this working to do the Zoom link, and so for all of my clients, when you go and book something with me, it's a Zoom meeting. So just to make it easier, um,
Mm,
and that seems to work for me. So this is a protocol thing that we're just trying. We will be pushing this to the development team to say you need to create a separation protocol based on activity type. So how I've gotten around this, if I go into here and I go to my calendar, and you'll see right here, this is where I mean there's no separation. So whether you're on a Zoom meeting, that's great because then you can just put your Zoom your standard URL that you would use. It doesn't create a new Zoom URL. It just uses the same URL, the public URL that you would have that you would send out to a client. And that works great. It works just fine. But if you go and add in here a call, it doesn't have a specific protocol to call saying, hey, we'll call you at such and such a time. We'll call you on that day, or type in a number that you want us to call. It doesn't have any protocols like that. So that is the only thing that I find that depending upon how you're doing your bookings, you may want that. For me, I don't need it. I put my Zoom meeting in there. They can choose a call. If they choose a call, they're still going to get the Zoom meeting link. It's
Oh, okay.
but they know that they've
As
chosen
they
a call
said that.
between a Zoom link. So but I haven't had anybody complain about it or say, "Hey, that's a problem." It just and works great, and it goes directly into the Act database. No fuss, no muss, and you can see
Yeah,
it's just about instantaneously. So it works really, really, really good. But yeah,
excellent.
I Calendly and Microsoft Bookings are great programs. I like them. I like the features they have. I like this because it goes into Act quick, right away. There's no
Mm,
duplications and there's no little issues that come up. It just works. The only drawback that I see at this point, and that's only for certain people that would have that problem, is certain protocols based on the activity type. That's really the only thing, but for anybody that's just doing basic stuff, works fantastic.
perfect.
Any other questions?
No, no, I have no other questions. Thanks. Just want to say thanks to Jerry for all the insightful questions. He had a lot of different questions for us today, and was very helpful, and I think answered a lot of other people's questions too when it comes
Yeah,
to this.
yeah, it's online calendaring is it saves a whole bunch of phone tag, trying to get back to each, or email tag or text tag, trying to nail down a time
Yeah.
when they can just go look at your calendar and say, "Oh yeah, I'll just book an appointment here." And it works really good. I really
Mm,
quite like it. And what it does is it will remind the person that they've got this meeting. It will actually send a message to you saying, "Hey, you've got a booking," so you get an
right.
email as well as it going into your calendar.
Mm,
It just really nice and smooth. And I know they're going to enhance this going on.
yes, they've already done stuff.
Going
Good.
further, as time goes on, they've already
Right.
done some modifications. We're going to see more modifications as time goes on. And so this is the time. If again, it's free. Try it out. See if it works for you.
Yeah.
Once you have the Act Advantage platform, and see how it works for you. And if there's things you don't like and you don't like the flow of it, that's the nice thing. You can go and put in a feature request or a change, and everybody's pretty apt to making adjustments to make sure that this is going to work in the environment. So we have a few things that we'll be adding to it.
Mm, gotcha. Perfect.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to go on this live stream. I just want to mention that we will be doing some more Act Advantage live streams showing different features going forward. We also have we. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag on this one, Jared. But you know what I'm talking about when I say Call Manager, new feature coming.
Oh, I see. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
This is really cool, and you're gonna love this, but I'm not gonna tell you what it is until Matt's got it finished programming.
Yeah.
But we've got some really cool stuff, and we've had interest for
Big
Call
fans of that.
Manager linking to Ring Central all over the country, United States and Canada. People are just loving it because of the functionality. I use it every day. It's just amazing.
Exciting stuff, lots of stuff, good integrations. Make it
Yeah,
easier, right? Have it all in one place and
absolutely.
you're not scattered trying, "Okay, what did I put in here? Let me copy and paste that in here," and I think, ideally, using the Active Advantage can help you to have kind of everything consolidated so you're not
Yeah.
scattered with your information, and you can
Yeah.
have it all in one place and ideally get it logged in and remembered, because that's the whole point of a CRM is to have things so you can pull it up and use it, right? It makes things easier for yourself, not harder, so that's something
Exactly.
that
Productivity,
yeah.
make it easier.
Mhm.
One of I think the next one we're going to do in this whole uh, list of things, these
Yeah.
additional features with this, is the quoting. Now,
Voting
this will be
software.
people who do quotes, that send
Yeah.
out proposals or quotes. This will be kind of geared around you. So this won't be for everyone. But if you're giving quotes to anybody, if you're sending out, "Hey, this is what it's going to cost you," whether it's a list or whether it's a proposal with a bunch of stuff in it,
Mhm.
you're going to want to sit on this because, again, it's going to come with it. You're going to get it
Yeah.
free if you want it. And we're going to show you how to use it. We've been using this for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And I love it. We get notification when somebody's approved it, when they've uh, had a look at it, when they've opened it, when they've approved it. We can tell. We can just keep an eye on stuff. So, look forward to showing you that. And just as closing, if there's anything that you personally would like to see or have us review, we do have a list of stuff that we're going to be doing shortly in the next few months. But if there's something you specifically want to have more of a live stream on, please send that to us. We'll add it to our list of live stream topics, and we'd be happy to show you whatever it is you're looking for. We'll show you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be an Act either. It can be any add-ons for Act. It can be whatever,
Do some
and
other
we've got
stuff.
lots of add-ons, and there's lots of add-ons out there. Um,
Sure.
all right. Well, having said that, everyone have a great weekend. It's raining here, and it says local 18 degrees. That's not right. It's actually it's actually about 12 degrees right now. Somehow that's not
Oh, okay.
working properly. Anyways, have yourself a great weekend. All the best, and we'll catch you on the next live stream. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.